The rain poured down in steady sheets, soaking everything in sight. Cars sped by, splashing puddles on the cold, dark sidewalk. In the corner of a small diner parking lot sat a woman, her head bowed, her hair wet, clutching a paper bag of food. She was shivering, trying to eat in the rain like she didn't have anywhere else to go. Inside his car, Ethan watched her through the windshield. He was a man who had everything: wealth, power, and success. But at that moment, all he could feel was a strange tug in his chest, something he hadn't felt in years. Who was she? Why was she eating alone in the rain? And why did it hurt so much to watch her? Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, compassion, and stories that touch the heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Lights. Your support helps us share more real, emotional stories that inspire people to do good. Don't forget to share your thoughts below. Sometimes, one small act of kindness can change a life forever. Ethan Parker was not used to being curious about strangers. At 38, he was a self-made millionaire in New York, the kind of man who closed million-dollar deals before breakfast and checked stock prices more often than the weather. But that evening, stuck in traffic and looking out at the rain, something about that woman caught him off guard. He noticed her thin coat, far too light for the cold drizzle. The way she carefully unwrapped her sandwich, shielding it with her hands as if it were something precious. Her eyes, he couldn't see them clearly, but he could feel a quiet sadness even from a distance. The light turned green. Cars honked behind him. Ethan hesitated, then pulled over to the curb. He grabbed his umbrella and stepped out into the rain. "Hey, miss, are you okay?" he called out gently. She looked up, startled. Her eyes were tired but kind, the kind of eyes that carried stories she never told. "Oh, I'm fine," she said softly, embarrassed. "Just needed somewhere to eat." He offered her the umbrella. "You'll get sick out here." She shook her head. "I'll be fine, really. Thank you." But Ethan didn't move. Something in her tone, that quiet bravery, made him stay. "Please, come inside the diner. I'll get you something warm. It's freezing out here." She hesitated. "I don't want to bother anyone." "You're not bothering me," he said with a small smile. "Let me help." Finally, she nodded. Together, they went inside the diner. The smell of coffee and pie filled the air. She sat quietly at the corner booth while Ethan ordered soup, coffee, and pancakes for her. "My name's Ethan," he said, sliding into the seat across from her. "Clara," she replied shyly. They ate mostly in silence. But as the minutes passed, Ethan noticed little details: the way Clara thanked the waitress so sincerely, the way she smiled even though her eyes were sad, and how she ate slowly, like every bite mattered. "So, Clara," Ethan asked softly, "why were you eating out there in the rain?" She took a deep breath. "I used to come here with my husband. Every Friday. We'd sit in that same booth, right by the window. But he passed away last year. I still come sometimes. I guess it makes me feel close to him." Ethan's heart tightened. "I'm sorry. That must be hard." She nodded. "Yeah. He used to say, no matter how rich or poor we are, kindness is what makes us truly wealthy. He lived by that. Even when we had nothing, he'd find someone to help, buy a meal for a stranger, pay for someone's medicine. I guess I'm just trying to keep that part of him alive." Ethan stared at her, his throat tight. Here he was, a millionaire with everything, and yet this woman, who had lost so much, seemed richer in spirit than he had ever been. He thought about his own life, his empty penthouse, his long hours, the people he barely spoke to. When was the last time he did something just to make someone else's day better? He couldn't remember. When the check came, Ethan quietly paid for it and slipped a few $100 bills beneath the napkin. But Clara noticed and shook her head. "Please, no," she said gently. "That's kind of you, but I can't take that." Ethan smiled. "It's not charity. Think of it as a thank you for reminding me what matters." She looked at him for a long moment, her eyes soft. "Then promise me you'll use your kindness where it's needed most. That's all I ask." He nodded. "I promise." They parted with a warm handshake, and Ethan watched her walk away into the misty evening, her small umbrella bobbing against the rain. Something in him had changed. Over the next few weeks, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about Clara's words. He started visiting community centers, donating not just money, but his time. He listened to people's stories, helped fund shelters, and even started a program that offered free meals every Friday night to those in need. The first night of the program, as volunteers served soup and sandwiches, Ethan noticed a small note left at the serving table. It was written in neat, careful handwriting. Kindness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it. Thank you for keeping that spirit alive. No name. Just that message. But Ethan knew who it was from. He smiled, his heart full. Clara had given him more than a lesson, she had given him a purpose. From that day on, Ethan lived differently. He still ran his company, but every decision came with one question: is this helping someone else, too? Years later, when he was interviewed about his success, he didn't mention his wealth or his business empire. He said only this: one rainy night, I met a woman who reminded me that true wealth isn't measured by what we have, but by what we give. And so, the next time you see someone struggling, sitting alone, or just needing a little kindness, don't look away. You never know how one small act can ripple through someone's life and change it forever. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Lights. Let's fill the world with light, one story and one act of kindness at a time.